clear my throat. I've gotten several commenters now asking me, what do you think about this recount business, since I somewhat supported Jill Stein for a time, or at least was certainly a strong supporter of third parties during the greater length of the election, but more notably supported most of Jill Stein's policy positions toward the end. And, if you are subscribed to my channel, that should be obvious why. So, do I think the recount will affect Trump? No, not at all. First of all, I would like to think that if someone has a legal right to request a recount, they'll get their recount. What's the big deal? And that's going to be the theme of this video. The theme of this video is going to be, what's the big fucking deal about it? What if she's embezzling money from stupid butthurt Hillary voters? That's one of the questions that it keeps getting thrown about. So what? So what? A fool and their money are soon parted. You don't like those people anyway, so what if they lose their money? If she extends the offer to raise money towards a recount effort, and people with money are willing to give their money to that effort, what's the big deal? If Jill's ulterior motive is to raise money for her party and or herself for personal reasons, then in our information age, when the truth eventually comes out, and it will, this will only hurt her and her movement anyway. So what's the big deal? I didn't give her money. You likely didn't give her money either. Most people don't have money to spare in this country. Jill raised more than twice as much money for her hashtag Recount 2016 in 2 days than she did for her presidential run during the entire length of the election. So over the course of a year and some change, and she raised more money in 2 days. You think that's poor people money flooding into that GoFundMe account? Not a chance in hell. Let those butthurt Clintonian fools be parted from their money. What's the big deal? What is the big deal? And if it turns out that she hasn't been sincere, and she's just been a crooked politician like the rest of them, then the damage is done. And we'll have learned nothing new about politics. We'll have learned nothing new about people's desire for money. So what? Not a big deal. This is not a big deal. And if this is a strategic move on behalf of Jill, and or the Green Party to re-endear themselves to the establishment left, again, so what? So what? At least we know where she stands. Here you got people like Alex Jones, who's butthurt now. And if the shoe were on the other foot, you better believe he would be asking for a fucking recount. If Trump had lost and Hillary had won, you better believe he would be doing everything in his power to try and overturn the result. So to hear him cry is just a hypocrite, a gigantic hypocrite. He needs to take some more ultra male vitality. He must be drinking that fucking chemical that turns the frogs gay. Turns the frogs gay. Stop crying, Alex Jones. And here you got his lackey, Paul Joseph Watson, who's fucking British. He's a British person. He's not even American. And I'm getting real tired of this guy meddling around and other foreigners. I'm getting tired of all the foreign pundits meddling around in American affairs, to be honest.
Jill Stein thinks Wi-Fi contributes to global warming. What a retard!
Yeah, you're very clever. You're very cool, Paul Joseph Watson, with your map behind you. Remember when the Alex Jones channel was building up Jill Stein like, hey, people on the left, listen to a true progressive speak. She thinks that Clinton is much more dangerous than Trump. Yeah, what happened to that? Yeah, they did a complete about-face. Big surprise! Big surprise! Everyone in the media, everyone in the political world is a fucking hypocrite and an opportunist. Don't be fooled for a fucking minute. Please get over yourselves. Trump won. All these foreign pundits, they need to stop crying. They need to stop worrying about our country and start lifting some fucking weights. This is all a shit show. If you haven't noticed, this is all a fucking shit show. Nothing that you're seeing is going to affect the outcome of the election results whatsoever. I'm fairly confident of that. You can take that to the bank. I don't care if you've heard news that the Clinton camp is now on board with the recount efforts. The fact that Trump even made it this far means that the deep state has spoken and he will be president. Period. The end. It's over. Brush the dirt off your shoulder. It's done. Recount efforts are being thwarted at the highest levels. Even from Obama. This is coming from the top down. If the lapdog of the corporate establishment, Obama, is saying, well, I think we gotta let democracy speak, then Trump will be president. That's that. But as long as you can saturate the media cycle with bread and circuses, all invested parties will continue making money hand over fist.